Hey guys, was good Triple J boxing. So we just seen Murtazaliev dismantle Tim Tszyu. Now the question is that a lot of people are asking after that huge win, uh, can he beat Terence Crawford? And my opinion on it, no, he can't. A lot of people they jump on the bandwagon, they jump the gun, and I'm not. Don't get me wrong, it's a shocking win the way he did it. It's not that he just won the way he did it. But when you kind of look more into it, styles make fights, obviously. It's a different guy. And there was a lot of things that went wrong for Tim Tszyu that Terence Crawford's not going to do. Like Terence Crawford's defense, his ring IQ. Uh, he's not going to fight like a Tim Tszyu. And he's not going to get caught with every left hook at the beginning of a fight. So you really can't look too much into that win and just say, oh, yeah, he's going to be Terence Crawford now. It's because Terence Crawford's defense and his experience, his ring IQ, all those things, footwork, everything. He's a better all-round fighter than Tim Tszyu in almost every way. Maybe you could say that Tim Tszyu maybe hits harder, but I mean, who's the more accurate puncher? So that remains to be seen. And who's the stronger guy? Terence Crawford's a really strong guy, so I really don't know there. So pretty much, Terence Crawford's better in every aspect, except okay. I'll give Tim Tszyu one thing. Tim Tszyu is younger and possibly hungrier, but other than that, I mean, do you see anything that Tim Tszyu does better than Terence Crawford? Let me know in the comments. So to say that Bakhram can now beat Terence Crawford is kind of a reach for me. Now, does he have a chance of beating Terence Crawford? That's a question to be asked, and I think that's legitimate. Because before this fight, I didn't think Bakhram Murtazaliev even had a chance at beating Crawford, but now maybe he does, right? Maybe he does. His toughness, and he's pretty big too, right? And he's young, and he's hungry, and he's disciplined. But I still think the holes in his defense is just too much, and Terence Crawford is going to capitalize on it, and he's definitely going to have to work on that if he is going to be fighting Crawford in the future. But at this point in time, I just don't think he can beat Terence Crawford just because his defense he gets hit too much sometimes. And even in the Tim Tszyu fight, even though it lasted 3 rounds and he was having his way with Tim Tszyu was landing a couple big shots on him that definitely shook him up a bit. But the thing is, Tim Tszyu, he got caught cold, and he could never recover. And the thing is, now going forward, no one's going to underestimate Bakhram anymore. And not to say that Terence Crawford would have underestimated him. He actually said that on Twitter after the Tim Tszyu fight. He says never underestimate anybody, because a lot of people did. So I feel like Bakhram Murtazaliev is going to lose that edge of surprise that now people expect him to be a really dangerous guy from what he did to Tim Tszyu, where before that they thought he was like one of the weaker links at the division. So yeah, like I said, I feel like he gets hit too much clean, and Terence Crawford will just pick him apart and probably. I don't know if it'll be hard to see if he can get stopped. I would say stoppage, to be honest. I think Crawford could break him down and stop him, but Murtazaliev is a very tough individual, very disciplined. It's going to be hard to break that guy's will mentally, but physically, I feel like any man can be broken physically, right? No one's invincible that way, but yeah, mentally, it's going to be hard to break him. But so that's why it'd be tough to get him out of there if a guy's mentally really tough. But Terence Crawford's sharp, precise, accurate punching. He's got power. He's got speed. He's got everything, Terence Crawford. So from those things I just mentioned, like I said, the one thing that comes to mind is I just don't think the defense of Murtazaliev can hold up to Crawford's mastery of counterpunching and and just timing. He's gonna get caught clean so much that it's hard to believe that he's not gonna that he's gonna be able to withstand all those clean Crawford shots throughout the whole fight. And Crawford is a smart guy. He's not gonna be like Tim Tszyu. He's not gonna be standing in front of you trying to pressure you after he gets dropped. Especially if Crawford got dropped, he would kind of regroup. But he definitely would not come out like a Tim Tszyu. He's gonna process the data for the first couple rounds to see what this guy's got. But the thing is, Crawford is getting up there in age, so that is definitely an advantage for Murtazaliev. But at this point in time, I have to heavily favor Crawford. But I give Bakhram a chance after this big win over Tim Tszyu. It's a very impressive win. But yeah, we're just gonna have to see in the future, because if we're gonna see, I need to see Bakhram Murtazaliev do another really big win on this level again, just to kind of clarify that he belongs. Because I feel like it's still going to be in the back of a lot of people's heads, including mine, is did everything just go right with him? Was it kind of, I'm not saying it's a fluke, but is it kind of like a, just like I said, everything went right for him, everything went wrong for Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu underestimating, Tim Tszyu got caught cold. And so for those of you who know, you can get, at the start of the fight, you're more likely to get knocked out because you're not properly warmed up. Like I said, was Tim Tszyu just a bad style? So we need to see another fight at this kind of level. Like if Bakhram were to beat like another, like very, I don't know, like another top guy at the division, and especially in this way, then you would really have to consider him like a major threat to anybody. But yeah, so I need to see him with one more big win at this level, whoever it is, Virgil Ortiz, Spence, Fedora, Keith Thurman, whatever guy they throw at him, Madrimov, Bohachuk, any of those guys. If he were to get a big win over them, then it would be like, okay, like this guy's like, you would really have to start considering his chances against a guy like Crawford, right? But yeah, there is guys that I think he can beat most of those guys. Like he has a good chance of beating those guys. Not saying he does it, but I think he has a decent chance of beating all those guys I just listed. Except I feel like Crawford and Madrimov are the top two in my division, in my opinion, in the division. I feel like I don't think Bakhram could beat a Madrimov or a Crawford at this right now. I give them, like, they have a chance, but I would heavily favor those two guys. But all those other fights I listed, I give them a good chance of winning those. You know what I mean? But yeah, like I'd like to see one more good performance at this level. To see how he does against a different style, and like I said, another fight, because this is really his coming out party. This is the biggest win in his career, and he did it so well that we kind of want to see how he does again, right? Is he going to continue to perform like this at this level? So that's still a question. Because, like, I never thought he was going to get it done like this, right? I never thought he was going to stop Tszyu in 3 rounds. How many people made that bet that he was going to stop him under 3 rounds? No one thought that. But yeah, I would have to favor Madrimov, because Madrimov is just a beast. His ring generalship, his IQ, his smartness in the ring. He's powerful, he's strong. He has that amateur background as well. Just technically very sound and smart in there. I feel like I'd have to favor him over Bakhram. And like I said, Terence Crawford, all those same things as well. So I feel like those two guys are the only guys I'd really favor considerably, where I could definitively pick them. But all those other guys, I mean, Bakhram's in the mix now, you know what I mean? But yeah, for those of you who think he can beat Terence Crawford now, I feel like you're jumping the gun a bit. And like I say, if you're a big fan of him, and nothing's wrong with that, you're just rooting for your guy. But I just feel like Tim Tszyu is a totally different style than Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford's not going to stand in front of him with no head movement like that and get countered with the left hook every single time and get dropped. Terence Crawford's not going to be there to be hit like that. And even if he did land a big left hook and drop Crawford, do you think Crawford would be pressuring the way Tszyu was? No, he would regroup and work on other things. So I just feel like Crawford's not going to get caught early like that either, because he's smarter in there. And Tim Tszyu, he's more like what we praise him for is what kind of his downfall was in this fight. Too much of trying to be a warrior in there and not thinking of the consequences coming back at you because you're too focused on landing your own offense that you forgot about your defense. So, yeah, and he's trying to prove a point after the Findora fight, which, it didn't work out for him. So, yeah, guys, but you definitely have to really consider Bakhram Murtazaliev's dedication, his discipline, and it shows up in the training. It showed up in the fight. I'm pretty sure the guy don't really drink or smoke. He is a Muslim. You're not supposed to, and it definitely will contribute to him looking good in the fights and even longevity. But the thing is, my only thing with him is I don't have a problem with his offense or anything. It's just I feel like sometimes he gets hit quite a bit. And in that Jack Colque fight, his first step-up fight, he gets hit so much. And I know he was during Ramadan, but even during this fight with Tim Tszyu, there was big shots being landed by Tim Tszyu. I know it wasn't that many because the fight wasn't that much. So I'm trying to be critical of, because I'm just picturing a guy like Crawford. It's hard to see him not landing a lot more frequently, right? That's all I'm saying. And a guy with like I said, the smartness of a Crawford or a Madrimov, I feel like it definitely would be a problem for him. But like I said, he's got that. He's got a really good conditioning, and he can break you down, and he can turn up the pressure on you and throw a lot of combinations, and that could be a problem for an aging Crawford or a guy who wants to maybe not fight at that pace, right? So definitely has a chance, and you got to throw him in there the mix. But I got Crawford. I got Crawford beating him right now at this moment. And I got Madrimov beating him as well. But let me know your thoughts on it. I think he has a good chance against Virgil Ortiz, against Findora, against Spence. I would maybe favor him against those guys, right? So, yeah, guys, this is Triple J Boxing. Thanks for watching. Take care.